the Deputy High Commissioner of Bangladesh in Pakistan at Karachi, distinguished guests, Chairman and members of the Board of Governors, Karachi Council on Foreign Relations. I am Commodore retired Sadeed A Malik, and it is a great pleasure and an honor to welcome the Bangladesh Deputy High Commissioner today. We usually invite one of the Consul Generals or at Karachi before our Board of Governors meeting, and you very kindly agreed to come, and it's a great honor and pleasure for all of us, and especially me, that you are over here. Honorable M Mahbubul Alam is a career diplomat. He joined the Bangladesh Foreign Service in 2003. Before that, he graduated from Dhaka University, and then later he went to Canberra, to National University of Australia, for his post-graduation, graduation and master's degree. He joined 2003, he joined the Foreign Service. He was appointed in the High Commission at London, in embassy at Paris, Kuwait, and now he is minister and serving as the Deputy High Commissioner at Karachi. Usually, I introduce on such occasion, I introduce to the guests to Karachi Council on Foreign Relations, but we have been so many times together that you are well introduced. So before any further ado, may I request your honor to come and address on Pakistan-Bangladesh relations. Honorable M Mahbubul Alam.
Mr. Ikram Sehgal, Chairman, Karachi Council on Foreign Relations, Commodore retired Sadeed A Malik, Chief Executive, distinguished members of Board of Governors of KCFR, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and very good morning. In my introduction, he mentioned that I had a career in diplomacy, but before joining diplomacy, I served as the faculty member in university. So basically, I'm an academician in that perspective. So I like to talk freelance, not the text as it is. Anyway, today I will mostly focus on few issues. First of all, the intro. It's my indeed great honor and privilege for me to be here at Quaid-e-Azam House Museum in Karachi to address this august gathering of office bearers and members of Karachi Council on Foreign Relations to speak about Bangladesh and issues of Bangladeshis. I will mostly focus on Bangladeshi issues with relations to our friendly countries and brotherly countries, Pakistan. Let me allow to express my sincere thanks and appreciation to Chairman KCFR, Mr. Ikram Sehgal, and distinguished members for inviting me to this august gathering. Thank you very much. The year 2021 was very significant in the history of Bangladesh. We celebrated three big occasions. In 2020 was the 100th birth anniversary of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. 2021 was the 50th anniversary of our independence. And thirdly, we also celebrated our graduation to the middle income country. The fulfillment of all criteria for graduation from least developed country, Bangladesh has been confirmed to be graduated from the LDC in 2026, which was officially announced by the United Nations General Assembly sessions in September last year. Under the dynamic, prudent, and very wise leadership of the present Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, the development journey of Bangladesh has been taken to realize the dream of Sonar Bangla, the golden Bangladesh, of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. In my deliberations, I will try to focus few issues on Bangladesh and the development of Bangladesh. In the early days, in the early years of our independence, Bangladesh was a very sad story. You know, our population was 70 million. Our per capita income was $94 only. Foreign currency reserve was nothing. Poverty level was 82%. Life expectancy was 47% around. Famine and natural disasters was a common phenomenon. But above all, we had one asset, one thing, that is our dream. We had our power, that was our population. And in those days, our capital asset was only less than 400 million. Our agriculture was around 500 million. Our trade was around less than 150 million US dollars. In such a condition, and faced by the huge odds, obstacles and challenges, the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, took the helm of the country to begin the journey towards the development, to build a country free from hunger and exploitation, and a prosperous nation, Sonar Bangla, the golden Bangladesh. The father of the nation, within 1 year of independence, took a number of initiatives and programs for the reconstruction of Bangladesh. Economic progress was the mainstay of these programs, while functioning of the totally devastated transport system, agriculture, power and industry, and these were the priority areas for his initiatives and programs. I'll come to our recent trends and recent development issues. Since 2009, the present Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has taken many initiatives. He has introduced the Vision 2021 to turn Bangladesh to a knowledge-based middle-income country by 2021, and the Vision 2041 to make Bangladesh a developed country by 2041, to realize the dream of Sonar Bangla. Sonar Bangla is a very popular word in Bangladesh, golden Bangladesh. As I defined, free from poverty, free from illiteracy, free from exploitations, whatever, with full-fledged economic developments. Our Prime Minister also introduced a 100-year plan, Delta Plan 2100, to make a progress of Bangladesh a sustainable one. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina also took a number of pragmatic initiatives and infrastructural mega projects to attain the goal of these visions. I would like to take this opportunity to mention few of his visionary projects and programs. One house, one farm project. Every house is a farm. You know, during even deep recession, we are sufficient in our food, because every household is a farm. They are producing their own foods. So this is a huge initiative and successful one. Ashram Prokalpo, shelter for everyone. You know, to mark the 50th anniversary of our independence, as well as the 100th birth anniversary of the father of the nation, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has taken the initiative to build new houses for the homeless on the land of the government, Khash land. So this is how she is making the country free from homeless, or like this. Yeah? Digital Bangladesh is a huge stride, huge drive. It is totally a digital country now. A poor lady in a village, remote village, she is now able to operate the mobile phones. She can communicate with her son living abroad. So they are so learned in terms of digital issues. Educational support program, empowerment of women, electricity to every houses. I will elaborate few of the issues later on. Community clinic and health issues, social safety network, enhancement of investment and climate protections and so on. Her government also took a number of infrastructure mega projects, as I mentioned before. And for industrialization, the government has taken a huge stride, huge initiative to establish 100 specialized economic zones across the country, including hyper tech in Bangladesh. Out of 100 specialized zones, almost 97 of them are to some extent operate in process of being established and to fulfill our dream. During the recent times, Bangladesh has been successful in different areas. We have attained the Millennium Development Goal, and you know some of the goals are already attained before the deadline. We are always in the right track to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. We are trying to achieve all goals of Vision 20. We have already attained the goals of Vision 2021 and has become a low middle income country even before the time. We have got the confirmation of the graduation from LDC in 2026, which will be announced, which is already announced by the UN General Assembly. Bangladesh have successfully launched the Bangabandhu Satellite 1 to join the prestigious club of satellite countries. You know, we have settled our land boundaries with our neighboring countries. Land boundaries, as well as we have also settled our maritime boundary demarcation with our neighboring country, India and Myanmar. And we have gained 118,000 plus square kilometers of areas of exclusive economic zones in the Bay of Bengal. You know, during the COVID time, it is a trauma for all the countries across the world. But our performance in tackling the issues is, alhamdulillah, extraordinary. We are among the few countries in the world who very appropriately and timely taken the initiatives to face this menace. We could organize the vaccines from different sources. You know, it's a small country with 180 million people almost. But alhamdulillah, our casualty is much less than many developed countries in the world. I was posted in Paris as Minister of Political. I have seen what happened in my station there. Very, very heartbreaking. Once upon a time in the newspaper, headline was very shocking. Every day so many lives are being lost. And once upon a time during the dealing the issues, they had to give up some areas to focus on other areas in tackling these issues. So this is how usually shows all the countries who face these difficulties. But alhamdulillah, we did well. And last couple of months is zero death in Bangladesh. So this is a recent success in dealing such a huge crisis. I'll focus only very few issues with regards to some issues. In terms of our education, I mentioned that we are doing quite good. Our literacy rate is now 75% plus. But at the same time, our enrollment is almost 100%. And this is because of the recent initiatives taken by the government. Since 2010, our government is distributing free textbooks to all the students in the primary and secondary levels. Every year, we are distributing around 400 million copies of textbooks free. And this is done on the very first day of the academic life. In Bangladesh, academic year begins on 1st of January. So on 1st of January, the books are distributed among the students, to all the schools, to all the students. So this is a landmark initiative, and this is a role in the developing countries, even in developed countries, to distribute such a big number of textbooks to their students free. As a country like Bangladesh, we dreamed and we materialized, alhamdulillah. 100% electricity coverage across the country. 21st of March this year, Honorable Prime Minister declared that Bangladesh is 100% under electricity coverage. All the households, even in the rural, remote areas, even in the islands, in the Bay of Bengal, in the mountainous areas, in the Rangamati or other remote areas, everywhere is now under the cover of electricity. And I would like to brief or highlight a few statistics on this. In 2009, our power plants was only 27, but now it is 150. Our power generation capacity in megawatts was 4,000, less than 5,000 megawatt, but now it is 25,000 plus megawatt. Height of generation, it was 3,000 around in 2009, but it is 13,000 plus. Total transmission line, in 2009 it was 8,000 kilometers, now it is 13,000 kilometers plus. Population with access to power, as I mentioned, it is now 100%, but in 2009 it was only 43%. Per capita generation, it was in 2009 220, now it is 560. So this actually reflects our drive, our initiatives, and these also inculcate the impact that economic success is not only seen in the cities or the developed part in the country, but not excluding the rural areas as well. A very recent phenomenon, I cannot leave this opportunity to kindly let you informed. The Padma Bridge. This is a success story of Bangladesh, a very recent one. This is a symbol of our pride. Today is 23rd of June, day after tomorrow, 25th of June at 10 a.m. in the morning. Honorable Prime Minister, in presence of more than 1 million people, will inaugurate this bridge. Alhamdulillah. This is a multi-purpose road rail bridge across the mighty river Padma. You know, this is the main distributary of the Ganges. It will create a huge opportunity for the vast majority of the country. It will connect the southwest of the country with the northern and the eastern regions. The bridge was scheduled, the bridge is scheduled to open, as I mentioned, 25th of June this year. Total length 6.15 kilometers. And there are other features. Podda is a very mighty river. There is a huge current, but the depth of water 122 meters. And the estimated cost was 30,000 crore in Bangladesh taka. In US dollar, it is 3.6 billion US dollars. It's a huge budget. But very striking thing is that, alhamdulillah, the total cost was borne by the government of Bangladesh. This is the resource of Bangladesh. This is done by the money of Bangladesh government, Bangladesh people. So this is the pride. This is, inshallah, if we try, if we think, if we drink, we can. As I mentioned at the very beginning of my speech, though we have a huge manpower, we have a very robust dream, and we are deeply committed to achieve our dream. And inshallah, we can, and we have proved it many a times in our history. And Podda Bridge is expected to boost the GDP of Bangladesh by 1.5% to 3%. So as a Bangladeshi, I feel proud that we could do this mega project, alhamdulillah. I have few more interesting points or issues to share with you, not that substantive in such discussions. It is formal, but to me, both. In 90s, when we were the student of university, our public university was less than 10, but now our university total 170 plus. We have 53 public universities. We have 100 plus private universities. We have 2 international universities and other 2 or more specialist universities. Every year, our present government has taken initiative to establish 3 to 10 public universities every year. In the parliament, there are so many bills. All of a sudden, we see in the newspaper, the enactment of 5 public universities is passed in the parliament. So this is how actually we are focusing on our education, not only at the grassroots level for the literacy rate, but also making the human power a very potential one. In our time, I am a very young man, not, in 90s, early 90s, we had only 7 medical colleges, but now we have 112 medical colleges. What is the length of time? Very short time, but we could do achieve, inshallah. Every year, we have around 5,000 MBBS doctors passing out from the medical colleges. So these are actually fueling our human resource. I will now focus few issues on our image abroad or image in the country. Garments, It's in the traditional term, we are a developing country, but our garments is the second, sometimes first in the world. I served more than half of my time in Western countries, Europe, London, and etc. If we go to any traditional, very high brand shop, after buying, when I bring it to my home, my children sees where it is made in. They found that it is made in Bangladesh. They have bought this as a product of Europe, but at home they see it is a product of home. It's a huge pride for them. I feel they are thinking not the way I think, but the way they express. I feel proud. This is actually a simple token that this is our pride, this is our achievements. Pharmaceutical, sorry to share my personal. I'm a pharmacist. I am graduated from Dhaka University as a pharmacist. In Bangladesh, in early 90s or before, we had to import almost all the medicines from abroad. But now, we do manufacture our medicines meeting 97% plus of our domestic need. We only import less than 3% from abroad. We have 300 plus pharmaceuticals. And if you see, I'm sure, alhamdulillah, you'll be impressed. What a state of the art manufacturing units. There are many companies, you might have known some name, Beximco, Square, Incepta, GlaxoSmithKline, so many others. And they're doing extraordinary job. And we are exporting our pharmaceutical products to over 70 countries. So as a country like Bangladesh, exporting medicine, medicine is such a sensitive item, consumable. But we are exporting 70 countries. But please mind, including Western developing countries. We import our raw materials, but we do export our finished products to even these countries, Germany and many other European countries. Shipbuilding. We are number 1, number 2 in shipbuilding. So this is a role model in shipbuilding. There are some hazards, there are challenges, but we are doing it. I must have to say the role of our expatriate Bangladeshis. We have 14 million Bangladeshi working more than 150 countries. In each and every country, you will find some Bangladeshi working there. And the professionals who are overseas, their contribution is tremendous. They are working with a high esteem. Their performance, their role is very laudable. They are increasing our image. Our people who are abroad, they are doing business. They are contributing to their economy, to our economy. One in London, I was London as councillor political. One in London or in the greater UK, we have 14,000 plus restaurants run by Bangladeshi people. And this is a brand. In the airliners, Emirates or others, you will see what is the touristic site or place to visit in London or UK. You might have seen the name of some restaurant run by Bangladeshi people. Apart from them, they are also contributing to their politics, to their economy, to their culture, to their societal development. They are integral part. They are being assimilated. And the Pakistan is also doing good in the expatriate Pakistanis. In London, Indian, Bangladeshi and Pakistanis, huge community. They had good relations, alhamdulillah. Bangladesh as I mentioned, the workforce, 14 million. Those who are working in the Middle East or other countries, they are not that literate, but their contribution is highly acceptable, highly acclaimed in the society. I was posted in Kuwait as Minister of Political and served there for quite a long time. The work they are doing, they have huge confidence, they have huge expertise. Whatever job they are doing, they got the confidence and faith of the employer, and they know the Bangladeshi people who are working with them are very hardworking, very committed, very honest, very dynamic, and they are learning the foreign language in 1 year, in 2 years. I have taught in university. I studied 2-3 universities, but I could not speak as fluent French as the illiterate or medium literate person living in France, because they are so talented. Alhamdulillah, it's a talented nation. Many, I have heard these words from many people where I served. They said, you are a talented nation. Your people are working with us. They are very talented. They can grab anything in a very quick period of time. So this is actually matters. And our initiatives are being materialized because of this. Alhamdulillah, we can do. If we wish, we can do. This is a tremendous potential, and Alhamdulillah, Shukriya for Allah. Bangladesh is doing extraordinary job in the international relations as well as in international organizations. Many Bangladeshi able diplomats or professionals are working in the international organizations. We are holding very big or good positions in many organizations, including United Nations and its specialized organizations. In the election of different international organizations, I have seen frequently recurring, we are being elected. I was in London, we are a member of Group B in the International Maritime Organization. We are the executive member of executive board for many years. Every year, if we are a candidate, we won. In the UNESCO, we are a member of executive board. Everywhere we are candidate, we won. Lastly, when I was there, there is a regional grouping, South Asian group or East Asian group, like this. The membership or the candidates from the group. They said that when you are candidate, you are winning, please, this time you please opt, give us chance. Alhamdulillah, this year we did not float our candidature. So this is actually, it bespeaks our potentials, our image, our goodwill. Alhamdulillah. Even though in peacekeeping, Pakistan is doing extraordinary job in peacekeeping contributions in the United Nations. And similarly, we are doing. We are number 1 or number 2 in contributing the UN peacekeeping troops. We have served more than 54 missions in 40 countries. All together, we have contributed 160,000 plus peacekeepers during this time. So this is a huge contribution from our side. This is a huge credit for us. And their contribution, their commitment, their knowledge, their professionalism is extraordinary. I was in Kuwait, sorry, I'm talking about from my experience as well. I was in Kuwait for 3 years. We have a military contingent, we call BMC, Bangladesh Military Contingent in Kuwait. They are doing an extraordinary job in Kuwait. You know, many others are working in Kuwait, but the role Bangladeshi contingent is playing is extraordinary. If some certification is from Bangladesh contingent in terms of cleaning the mining in the deserts or anywhere, there is the final. Reports from any high-tech methods or any sources, including developing agencies or countries, our report is number 1. If it is okay, everything okay. Even anybody can visit there. So this is the professionalism, this is the expertise they have shown. And the credit goes to the commitment and professionalism our patriot soldiers and officers are doing abroad. The training the military or the military academy are doing, this is actually world class. National Defense College, Staff College, and Armed Forces War Colleges, and Military Academy, these institutions are training our officers, our soldiers. At the same time, the foreign armed forces officials are also being trained in these academies, including the European or other developed countries. So this is also, as I mentioning the word, bespeaks our capacity, our excellence. BIPSOT, Bangladesh Institute of Peace Support Operation Training. All the trainers, all the peacekeepers go abroad for the UN assignments, they are being trained there. Not only our soldiers, the foreign peacekeepers also are being trained here. So this is what is very pride for us. This time we faced two very sad, tragic incidents in Bangladesh. The fire in Chittagong and the current flood situation in the northern eastern region, Sylhet, Chattogram, Mansingh, this belt. You know, in national disaster management, alhamdulillah, we have to go through this climatic or natural disaster. But the way we deal this, alhamdulillah, many developed countries, when there is a sort of calamities, they cannot handle it properly. In the ministry, I was director East Asian Pacific. I looked after Japan, South Korea, China, Australia, New Zealand. We had meeting with the Australian counterparts. They want our expertise. They want to see the best practices we do. They want to learn from us. In terms of this management, really we are doing extraordinary job. And you know, we are a developing country, we have resource constraints, but in 2007, since onward, we are giving shelters, we are home of 1.1 forcibly displaced Myanmar nationals in Bangladesh. This is a huge burden for us. You know, the role we are playing is also boosted, enhanced our image abroad. Many developed countries, they are sealing their borders. But what we did, we opened our borders for the causes of humanity. So this also again bespeaks the leadership of our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. We could stop our border, but we are a peace-loving country. We are an international law-abiding country. Our image in the international forum, why it is so high? Because of our initiatives, because of our dynamism there, because of our vibrancy. One few days back, one of our senior diplomats is appointed as undersecretary in the UN headquarters in New York. There are many others, as for example. We are doing also diplomacy in soft way. I have to mention one thing, the Asian Biannual, Asian Art Biennial. Every 2 years we do organize these things. Am I passing probably taking more time, so almost finished inshallah. The Asian Art Biennial, every 2 years we do organize this. The participants, the distinguished art work as well as the artists from more than 120 countries take part in the exhibition, in the biennial. And we do organize for many years. So this is also increasing our image there. And one last point almost, I want to focus. When I was in Paris, since 2019 to this year, I had the honor to be a part of the greater initiative. UNESCO has established a prize, UNESCO prize. In the name of the prize, UNESCO Bangladesh Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman International Prize for the Creative Economy. This is a prize of UNESCO, but we do contribute. We are the contributors. This is a $50,000 money prize. And this is a prize of UNESCO, but this is established as a token, as a celebration of the UNESCO for the year of creative economy. We are a part of that This is also a part of the celebration of the 100th birth anniversary of the Father of the Nation. This is also a token part of the celebration of our 50th anniversary of our independence, our Golden Jubilee. Yes, this is a UNESCO prize. This is not Bangladesh prize, but in the name of our Father of the Nation. But the applicants are from 193 countries. When it is circulated by the UNESCO, this is being circulated at the same time with all the 190 countries by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, by the National Committee on Education, on UNESCO. So this is a widely circulated issue, and anybody doing this job can apply for there. So this is a token that the name of Bangladesh, name of Bangabandhu, the name of our initiative is discussed about. Many are dreaming to have won this prize. So in your name, I feel proud. So you are great. Alhamdulillah, we could do it. And this is not UNESCO itself does. All the members of the UNESCO have to endorse and ratify this proposal and this initiative. So this is a UNESCO issue, the issue of the UNESCO member countries. Lastly, I want to focus very few points on our prospects. You know, Bangladesh is a very promising and potential country. As I mentioned, 100% electricity coverage. Alhamdulillah, we have gas. So because of the 100 economic zones, it is very investment-friendly environment prevailing in Bangladesh. Any country, any company, they can come forward to work with us to develop our economic conditions, our relations. In the economic zones, many countries have their own specialized zones. Korea, Japan, or some other countries. Saudi, they want. India. So this is the potentials. The business people in Pakistan, the investors in Pakistan, they can come forward to invest in Bangladesh, to do business with Bangladesh. The business environment is quite interesting and quite attractive. So you can have this opportunity taken up, and we can, inshallah, develop together. This is very important to have this sort of engagements. We are a peace-loving country. Sorry, just sometime crossing the points. In the UN system, there is a culture of peace, and that resolution was proposed by Bangladesh. There is a Bangladeshi resolution proposed. So we believe in peace, and peace comes with different elements. For developments, for literacy, for good health, everything is prerequisite for absolute peace. So inshallah, this is the opportunity I want to promote, that the business people in Pakistan can come forward, and our interaction would be very worthy to go further miles. You have huge potentials, the same we have. So this is the area, those who are working in this area can come forward. So with these few points, once again I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to Chairman of Karachi Council on Foreign Relations and all the distinguished members of the Board of Governments and other dignitaries and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. So this is once again my opportunity and honor to be here today. Thank you once again. With this, Allah Hafiz.
Sir, it was a pleasure to learn about the history of your progress and development, which you have, mashallah, reached. Wonderful. It was a great pleasure for all of us. Now is the time. Just one question before we start rest of the questions, that you were able to achieve when the two brothers parted At that time, your population was 7.5 crores, 70 millions, and ours, this side was 60.5. And now you are 160 million, 16 crore, and we are 23 crores, 230. How did you really achieve the wonderful this thing? And that is the basic reason which I think is the cause of development of Bangladesh.
The question is very relevant. In 1971, our population was 7 million. Now we are 160 million plus. You compared with yours. I can focus on my issues, the way we deal it. You know, as I mentioned, the achievements in different areas. 100% literacy could not achieve. Our literacy not 100%, but enrollment 100%. Literacy rate 75 around. Life expectancy 72% plus. So people are becoming, I also mentioned digital Bangladesh, you know. So actually these are the recent phenomenon, but in terms of the population growth, population control, literacy, education is a must. Education at the same time, because of the policies taken by the government, directly or indirectly impacted on controlling this population. Because now the unitary family, they have to take care of their own families. So they think if the population is big, so there are policies. The family planning was the policy in our countries since 80s. So that worked, and that given the final result as of today. And the people are now educated, they are learned. So they know their betterment. So this is sort of direct or indirect issues. They think that if their family is smaller, they can afford good health conditions, they can afford better educations, they can send their children overseas for their education, they can lead a better quality life. This actually the incentive, directly or indirectly, that contributed to this achievement. At the same time, government have all the time these sort of programs, and these programs cover every villages, every households. In our government service, you know, there are 29 cadres. So one of the cadres is family planning. So this is highly focused initiative by the government. So ultimately, over the years, this is the achievement in this sector. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, it is my honor to see you again in 1 week. So I have two questions. Number one, what is the volume of trade between Pakistan and Bangladesh? Is it growing, or is it stable? And what can be done to grow this volume on both ways during the period of your stay here in Karachi? Second question is, in one word, what has Bangladesh done that it has increased its GDP beyond Pakistan and India, one of the best in the developing countries? Just share your views about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm not very good at statistics, but I can figure out the around figures. Trade volume is increasing between Bangladesh and Pakistan, and over the years it is increasing with a percentile form, and total trade volume we are lagging behind. You are exporting more to Bangladesh, but we are exporting less to Pakistan. So this is a two-way journey. So you are doing better, so we are not doing better. So we need to do better. If we do better, if we can come close to you, it will be doubled. Now it is less than 1 billion, 800 million plus, around. I'm not very sure about the exact figure. vast majority of this 800 million or around, it's yours. So if we can add per year, it will be double. I mean, it is 1.5 billion. We could, if we contribute the same amount you are doing. So alhamdulillah, we can work together. I am here only a few weeks. By this time, I had the opportunity to know few of you who are doing tremendous job in our trade and investment between these two countries. I can see few known figures. I have been to the Karachi Chamber of Commerce and Industries. I had a meeting twice with the dignitaries, another with the High Commissioner who visited Islamabad, from Islamabad week before. So I could feel that we have the arts, we can promote our trade and investment and business. And so I would like to emphasize on your initiative, at the same time our initiative. As I am here sitting with you in Karachi, so we are very positive and proactive, inshallah. We would like to extend all support, what we can, will be there. There are some issues regarding the movement, that is a bilateral issue, and inshallah it will be in a working level, is good, inshallah. So you please think to visit Bangladesh with business. Our people will also exchange the visits, and this will ultimately, directly or indirectly, impact on the increasing the trade volume. Okay. And we said the GDP issues. In the recent times, as I mentioned, there are so many initiatives taken by the government. We spent 30,000 crore taka for the construction of Podda Bridge. It's a Podda, mega project. It's a visible project we see. But what is the impact on GDP? We are expecting 1.5% to 3% increase in GDP. Our GDP is over 10%, 2 digits, for quite a few years. Even in the corona time, our GDP is around 6%. So this is actually the good thing that we are going through. And there are some secrets why we are able to continue in this. As I mentioned, one home, one farm. So our GDP coming from the root. Everybody is self-dependent. They do not need to depend on others. When huge recession across, our people producing their own food. So no matter, they have their own cattle, own fish, own food, so it's okay. So ultimately, in different projects and programs contributed this way, that way, directly, indirectly, to the enhancements of our GDP for the sustainable GDP of our country. Sure. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum. Excellency, my name is Dr. Shehzad Arshad. I am the member of board of KCFR. Also, I am serving as the Honorary Consul General of Kingdom of Lesotho in Karachi, Pakistan for last 20 years. And I have been the chairman of All Pakistan Garment Exporters Association for 6 times. And I have been the chairman of Textile Committee for Federation of Pakistan Chamber of Commerce and Industry for 14 years. Excellency, just to give an example, like as far as Lesotho is concerned, so we have been welcoming investors from Korea, from China, from Pakistan, and we are proud to say that from Lesotho we are the second largest exporter of clothing from African continent to North America. But counter to that, I being the stakeholder of textile industry in Pakistan, I am also myself one of the largest exporter to Bangladesh, and I have been to Bangladesh for more than 30 times. But what I have experienced, as you just said, that you are welcoming Pakistani investors in Bangladesh. So as per the experience, what we have seen in last 1, 2, 3 decades, the companies what have gone over there didn't got so much incentive and didn't got so much, what I can say, facilitation as compared to what we are giving in Lesotho. And that is probably one of the reasons that the companies which have gone from Pakistan to Bangladesh are not that much successful as they should have been. So, Excellency, as you just said that now special economic zones are being formed, and it's very good news that government of Bangladesh is welcoming Pakistani investors to there, and definitely we are very much, we do want very much to go over there. and to establish our units. So I'll be very much thankful to you if you can elaborate that now, or later on you can send some details so that we can forward those details to our relevant associations, to our relevant chambers, and to the Federation of Pakistan Chamber of Commerce and Industry, so that the message could be spread among the textile business community of Pakistan. Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you very much. The scope for investing in EPZs in Bangladesh is open for any country. The policy is universal. The fiscal or non-fiscal incentives are for everybody. So there is no restriction for any country. So any investor, any industry or any country can come up. Thank you very much.
Arfan Rashid from Al Murtada Missionary. My simple question is about the visa policy of Bangladesh for Pakistan. There are businessmen who would like to visit Bangladesh, and as you have said, you are inviting the investors from Pakistan to Bangladesh. So I would like you to elaborate a bit on the visa policy of Bangladesh for Pakistanis. Thank you.
Thank you very much. For the issuing visa, we have to go through a process. We do, and sometimes it takes a little more time, but visa process is on. It's smooth. We, the Deputy High Commissioner in Karachi, are very positive and proactive in dealing with these issues. We are expediting the issues. We are taking up the issues with the concerned so that the process is as fast as possible. So we are very positive in expediting these issues, and we will try in the upcoming years, inshallah. Thank you very much.
My question is about the foreign policy. For some time we've been reading in the newspaper that America was trying to acquire some land in the Cox's Bazar area, a very strategic position to develop their telecommunication system. On the other hand, our trade is mostly with Europe and America, but America has imposed sanctions on Bangladesh because of their human rights issues. At the same time, Bangladesh is trying to develop relations with Russia and China. So the question is, how do you balance the foreign policy? Because we get it into problem because our relations trying to develop relations with Russia.
Thank you very much. Very academic question and very tough question. Thank you very much. You know, our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, had the foreign policy. Friendship with all, malice towards none. And that is the part of our foreign policy since our independence. And still, that is in practice, and that is the core of our foreign policy. So this policy actually bespeaks what should be the guiding line or guiding principle of our relations. So whatever the factors, whatever the dynamics in the matrix, if you fit in this frame, I think anyone can get the answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for addressing us and telling us about the road to development of Bangladesh. We were really pleased, and of course for responding candidly to our questions too. May I now request the chairman for his concluding remarks. Sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Deputy Commissioner, members of the Board of Governors, and honored guests. We've had a very, I think, extensive briefing on Bangladesh, something that was really needed because we do not have much of coverage of our friendly countries because mostly the media relies on spreading bad news rather than good news. So here we have seen some good news, and I think it is remarkable that 80 years or 80 plus years after the Pakistan resolution And 80 years after the Qaid-e-Azam bought this place, we have the Bangladesh Deputy High Commissioner addressing us here in this location. So that by itself. One can only say the development has been fantastic. There's no doubt about it. I think, and there are many factors contributing to it. It is the political will, it is the governance mode, it is the fact of decentralization of powers to the local bodies, which we have in theory but not in practice, right? And I think a very stated aim, because when the Padma Bridge was coming to, there was a lot of talk about aid or loans, etc. And ultimately, I think because of the vital nature of that bridge, because it really connects southwest Bangladesh to the entire east, not only to, I would say, the northeast, but the entire east of Bangladesh. So when you look at it, and the fact that they did it on their own is a remarkable achievement, and did it on time. That by itself is a remarkable achievement. After all, 6 kilometers, 3 miles, and those currents, if people have been there, will realize that it takes a lot to make that bridge at 122 meters depth is not an easy task by any means. I think one of the reasons when the development is financial inclusion. Bangladesh very early realized that without the financial inclusion of the deprived and without the women empowerment, this could not, unless the women got into the economy, contributed to the economy, there was no way that they would not be, remain the international basket case that Kissinger had labeled them with, right? Which I think Kissinger should be swallowing his words by now, and he's still alive to swallow them, actually. Now, when you say about, guarantee for collateral, etc., obviously, when you're talking about financial inclusion, there are various ways, and there was no collateral. And the way they did the collateral was very innovative, that they used to give the loan to a group of people, group of 10 or 12. So even though the loan was individual, the group was responsible for the repayment of each individual. It was very innovative. There have been a lot of talks about trade. We have complementary economies. We require jute for our jute mills. We require tea, and we especially used to like, now it has changed a bit, the low-grown tea. The low-grown tea, which is known as Kora tea, thick tea. Actually, the other day, one of our esteemed politicians asked us to have less tea, without realizing that tea and chapati is a form of food in our country. Tea and chapati. So, he was doing something, but Marie Antoinette tried, let them eat cake if they can't have bread. Yeah. So the point is that tea is something that really can come here in large quantities. And then textiles can go from here, because you have a lot of garment factories. You have one of the largest manufacturers of finished garments in the world. You've done very well there, and that is one of the bases of your economy. I think our base is textiles, and the textiles can go and lie. Then, of course, I know that you import a little bit of rice now, but Sindh parboiled rice used to go from here. Sindh Joshi rice used to go from here. And then, of course, cotton for your textile mills. A lot of it used to go. The type of cotton that you used to in your textile mills, went from Pakistan. So I think those are things which really can, the thing. And then, of course, we used to import a lot of newsprint from Khulna newsprint mill. We used to import paper from Chandraguna paper mills, right? So if you look at it, even finished jute goods, B12s, Hessian bags, we used to do a lot. So if you look at the wide range of things, etc., but the most remarkable thing you said was about pharmaceuticals. That is amazing. that 97% of your pharmaceutical is now actually made within the country. Yeah. Now, so I think I want to address two, three very sensitive issues, and one of them is about stranded Pakistanis there, right? I think it is our conscience, it is a blood on our conscience on all Pakistanis that anybody who calls themselves a Pakistani till today, 50, 60 years later, or we do not say that yes, you can come to Pakistan. That is something that stranded Pakistanis should be given the option to come to Pakistan. And similarly, there are about 1.6 million Bangladeshis or I think, etc. They are not Bangladeshis, they are Pakistanis. Their children have been born in Pakistan, they are part of Pakistan. I think we need to settle this issue once for all, that stranded Pakistanis who want to come here or want to stay there will stay there, have come here, and Bangladeshis who are here already and their children are here, they should be given the right of citizenship. If we can have 3 million Afghans living us and settled here, and you know the second largest Afghan city in the world is Karachi, you know. So now, other than that, Excellency, the sensitive issue is, why should we have visas between the two countries? So let's not have visas. Another sensitive issue is, why have tariffs between the two countries? If you have no tariff between the two countries, can you imagine the quantum of trade that can go on? So no visa, no tariffs. In the end, I want to turn to my friend Kaleem Faruqi, who day in, night out, would ring me up 2 o'clock in the morning and said, let's revive the Pakistan-Bangladesh Friendship Association. So we will, inshallah. Excellency, thank you very much. Thank you, both of you, for being here, for listening patiently to us, and thank everybody here for coming and gracing this occasion. Thank you.